Welcome to this first lecture of week 11. During this week, we will examine internal control, pointing out the role it plays in public financial management. The focus is on defining internal control, the responsibility of management, general principles, and the internal control process. Internal control can be defined as an organizational measure implemented to prevent mismanagement and improve the quality of management. The Institute for Internal Auditors defines internal control as all means devised to promote, govern, and check upon various activities for the purpose of seeing that institutional objectives are met. It not only refers to internal checks and audit, but to the entire control and financial system established by management. This is how an internal control program looks like. It starts with risk assessment, then control activities, followed by information and communication, then monitoring processes before looking at the control of the environment. The head of the institution, together with those senior officials forming the management team, provide the leadership and direction necessary in achieving the goals derived from legislative process and institution's mandate. Logically, effectiveness assumes that the success of a public institution is evaluated by the achievement of objectives and that management controls the utilization of resources to an extent that these are achieved. Management responsibilities for internal control can be classified into four categories, namely design, implementation, monitoring, and reporting. Internal controls should be based on certain principles, ensuring they add value to the institution, namely competent personnel and rotation of duties, assignment of responsibilities, segregation of responsibility for related duties, separation of operations and accounting, proof of security measures, proper accounting for transactions, adequate safeguarding of assets. The process of evaluating, improving, and reporting on the internal control system could include 6 distinct steps, namely organize. Here it is about consideration to be given to assigning responsibilities for internal reporting, documentation, personal supervision, and scheduling of the evaluation process, which include vulnerability assessment and internal control reviews. Step 2, divide the institution into various areas of assessment. The institution should be divided into components, programs, and administrative functions to facilitate evaluation of internal controls and execution of vulnerability assessment. Step 3, conduct vulnerability assessment. Criteria and guidelines must be developed determining programs susceptible to waste, loss, and unauthorized use or misappropriation. Step 4, develop plans for subsequent actions. Summarize the result of the vulnerability assessment to determine necessary action. Step 5, conduct internal control reviews. Defining the event cycle forms the basis of internal control review. A cycle consists of a series of actions to be taken to carry out a specific activity or function. And lastly, step 6, prepare report on internal controls. Two types of report are prepared. The first, in which corrective actions are suggested, is submitted to program managers, and the second goes to heads of department, here being naming the director general.